The following audio was recovered from a hard drive found in a burned-out storage locker near Seattle, Washington. The owner could not be found.
This story was emailed to me in response to my episode about the frogs. The writer didn't sign it, but I'm pretty sure I know who it is. And their point merits sharing with the rest of the room, so here it goes verbatim. Look, Jackson, not every spook is out to get you. As a screaming introvert who doesn't get out much, I guarantee that some out there are just trying their best to get a word in. A few years back, I had managed to get an interview with a mobile game company based out of Portland, and decided to make a weekend of it. I walked the bridges, ate the street food, skipped the donuts, and inevitably found myself in the largest bookstore I'd ever seen. It was a homebody's paradise, and after overloading the gold room, the stairs to the rest of the building became a non-starter, so begrudgingly I head for the elevator. Typically, I avoid elevators. Their anxiety may manifest. Tiny, inescapable, suffocating boxes that can drop faster and farther than human bones can withstand if any number of things happen to slip wrong. And on top of that, you have absolutely no control over who might join you on that journey, and no escape if they have a knife or bad breath or whatever. All you can do is tuck yourself into a corner and try and think about absolutely anything else until you arrive at your final floor. Now, when I stepped into this one, I assumed that I was alone. Who lingers on the first floor? But as the mechanism started to lift, I soon realized that there was a second figure standing there with me. Uncomfortably close, because everything is uncomfortably close in an elevator, but oddly hard to focus on. I assumed a she, with long dark hair, and small enough to still be in high school, wrapped in layers of baggy clothes and topped with an unzipped hoodie. His she was definitely focused on me, however, and I think saying something that I couldn't quite hear over my headphones. So I just tried to nod politely to the kid, mouth some awkward goodbye, and quickly scoot off into the Pearl Room to look at art books, way too heavy to take home with me. Social interaction successfully sidestepped. Eventually, I made it back to my hotel before I blew all my reserve money, but between new books and dinner groceries, it looked like I was resorting to the elevator once again. I walk across a well-lit imitation marble hall to the wide chrome-plated doors, my steps echoing off the hard walls, and I am again absolutely positive that the open car is completely vacant as I step in. Yet, for a second time, I'm struck by that sudden peripheral presence maybe a foot from my face. It's the exact same girl! Frantically, my mind grasps for anything it can use to rationalize this person. Are they following me? The hotel building is across the river from the bookstore. There are 2 million people in this city, probably 150 square miles. She cannot be staying in the same hotel. I smacked the button in my panic, slid out on the next floor, and lugged my bags up the remaining 5 flights of stairs. Glancing back, I see her linger behind the closing elevator door. She seems lost. I don't sleep. My interview is at 10 the next morning, but all I can think of is the sense of loneliness in that person's eyes as I disappeared around the corner of the stairs. Why hadn't they continued to follow me? Was this all in my mind while this other person was lying in some other hotel room, wondering about this weirdo they keep bringing into? I finally gave up, and pulling out one of the day's purchases, resigned to at least try and ride the night out in a better frame of mind. It mostly works. It turns out, the address I'm interviewing at is one of the bigger ones downtown, and I'm due on the 17th floor in about 20 minutes. My insides are a mess, but I like to think that I'm hiding it well, mostly via gobs of caffeine and spices in an attempt to replace the sleep I didn't get the night before. At least I smell nice, I hope. The receptionist checks me in and directs me to a small flight of elevators in the adjoining corridor. I breathe deep and hit the call button. This time at least I'm not alone, as a gaggle of office people file in with me, filling up every bit of remaining space. 2 of them carry stacks of what they call brunch pizzas, and my nutmeg aura fizzles under the power of bacon grease and cheddar. They're loud, joking, and mostly oblivious to my presence, all filing out again when we reach the 5th floor, leaving me in a sudden, very quiet void. I clench down on my portfolio bag. By the 7th floor, she's returned. Not wearing my headphones this time, I'm aware of a hum in the air separate from the noise of the elevator, and the whole chamber feels like charged ozone. I keep my eyes forward, focusing on the slowly rising red number. The door never opens.
Hey,
The word is barely perceivable, but I perceive it all the same.
don't trust.
Was that static or a stutter? It doesn't matter. Why do you keep following me? I let out in a long exhale, fighting to keep my voice from raising.
Don't trust.
She repeats. What? What are you? I can't tell if she's even registering my questions. The teenage face is frozen in a mask of desperation, and what little sound I can process is a single short and pleading loop. Only her lips are moving. We're past the 12th floor now.
Don't trust.
I finally turned my head to see the girl suddenly collapse to the floor, her out-of-focus face contorting in an anguished yell. Her small hand wraps around my ankle, and I spill what's left of my coffee on top of her, but it doesn't seem to connect to anything. Her touch is electric, and I jolt back into the wall of the tiny box. To my minor relief, it doesn't shake, and with that, I'm alone again, and the door's open on the 17th floor. Thank you? The receptionist looks up from her computer, and I force a smile. She graciously points me to a small washroom and disposes of my battered cup.
Don't.
The interview happened, and I ended up turning them down. A few months later, I saw a photo of my interviewer attached to a news article online, which I made a point not to read. It would have been a good paycheck, even if it didn't last, but on the other hand, I also didn't get arrested or killed, so win? And I never saw the kid again. I like to think that that's because they fulfilled their purpose or whatever, but who can be sure of anything? I guess my point in telling you all this weirdness is that sometimes one has to be trapped in an isolated, uncomfortable place in order to truly open up. No, that's crap. Just do your best not to shut people out. Everyone is constantly in isolated, uncomfortable places, and every attempt to bridge a connection is probably better for all concerned, human or otherwise. Go back and listen to those frogs. They might even be trying to save your life. Now I need to go make a connection with a pizza.
Don't forget to join the Fear 20 Discord. We've got memes, streams, and most importantly, screams.